Now let's get to the dance-off, because this was going on at the same time, and there's a lot watching, and America's vote is like Len's vote, but we didn't really know that because it was explained in all these different ways, and I was so confusing. Yeah.
I think I'm still a little confused, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So there were the 3 dances: jive, cha-cha, and samba. Of course, at the top of the leaderboard was Bindi and Derek, so they were able to. I love that they were just like, "Who wants to do jive against us?" And they're like, "You're supposed to pick a partner," and they picked the style. But he just laid it out there, and you know what? It was smart, actually. And Carlos and Witney were like, "We'll do jive with you." So here's the thing. I looked at this was the first one where I was like, none of this makes sense. I watched Bindi and I watched Carlos, and I went back and watched them both again, and I really felt that Bindi won that round.
And they didn't win it on the scores.
They won America's vote, but they did not win it in the judges' vote. The judges all voted Carlos, Carlos, Carlos.
I thought that was interesting. I felt like they weren't even watching that, and they already knew what they were going to do, because from watching that, it was weird that it was all of them. Did you think that?
Yeah, that not one person voted for Bindi. Are you kidding me? Like, her kicks and flicks. And the one thing that's been very consistent with Bindi is her feet and her legs have been very precise from the very beginning. So the jive for her, I think, is one of those natural dances. And if you watch what was going on in her corner, I was like, okay, she should have this like handed to her. And across the board, they were Carlos. And not that Carlos did bad, but Bindi was a level up on that.
Yeah, I felt like it took them a little minute to kind of get into their choreography a little bit more. So that was a bit strange to me. It was all a bit like, oh, we're going, here it is, splitting the dance floor. It was all a bit weird.
It was all, confusing.
I don't think that helped. Like, what does that help any of us to figure out? Like, do you know what I mean? I would just much rather see a group dance personally, or something a little bit more interactive. I know they're trying to get the competition element, but we already have that.
Right, and you're asking America to watch the dance and vote at the same time, and you're like,
we don't have time for that.
And of course, for us on the West Coast, it's a moot point.
Just a mishmash.
It's just a moot point. Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, so at that point I was like, okay, so Carlos gets that 2 additional points. I got that. Obviously, Nick and Sharna were immune. They got their 3 extra points.